Is it possible to turn $500 into $43,000? I think so. I started selling on Amazon with $500 10 years ago, September 2014. I had my first sale. I was going back to college, needed a way to pay for school, and that's what I did. I found Amazon selling, which is a long story. I can tell you more about that. I found a couple books that talked about selling online, and anyway, that's kind of how I got started. But I literally had $500 to my name and needed to make rent to go to school. Otherwise, I was going to have to go back to working full time. I had read The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, which was very helpful. Found Amazon selling, and in just a few years, I turned that $500 into $150,000 a month in sales. First 2 years of it, I was working at it part-time, making enough money to cover my bills in school. And fast forward to today, I was working with a one-on-one client and walking her through a spreadsheet, showing her this kind of math of if you put in $500 into an Amazon business on January 1st, and then you've got a return on investment every 30 days of 50%, meaning if you put in $500 and you sold all of the product and made a $250 profit, that's a 50% return on investment. So if you're able to do that every 30 days, your initial $500 by the end of the first month is worth $750. By the second month, it's like $1,100 and some change. But by December, it's worth $43,000. And by January of the following year, it's worth over $60,000. And I can tell you from my own experience that it's never going to be that linear, but I've had that experience where, September of 2018 is when things really kicked off for me, where I went from doing $32,000 a month in sales to $150K by January of 2019. And what I want to share with you is kind of illustrate is the formula that I was walking my client through. You can check it out in the content below. There's a Google Doc there that also walks you through how to do a balance sheet. And what I think a lot of people, myself included at times, get lost in is the early stages of that compounding money. I'm gonna start walking back this way, but if you do well the first month and you make $250, it's easy to talk yourself into the idea that wasn't a big deal. And even do that for the first 5 or 6 months, the money isn't that significant. But by the end of the year, all of a sudden you're making $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month. Just doing what you were in the beginning, but you've just been doing it for longer and you get better at it. So that's my encouragement to you, is if you're starting out with Amazon, pay attention to percentage increases, not dollar amounts. Be very disciplined, and you want to know exactly how much profit you're bringing in, how much money you might be losing, where you're making money, and where you're losing it. Because that's the only way that you're actually going to be able to sustainably and know for sure that you're going to be able to hit the kind of numbers I just hit or mentioned. And, in that sheet, you'll also find that, of course, it's optimistic that you're going to get a 50% return on investment every 30 days. So I put in a calculation for a 30% return on investment every 45 days that you can take a look at. And get after it. Thank you guys for watching, and happy Halloween.